Hey everyone, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY I hope that you are having a wonderful day. On this video tutorial, I'm going to show you, 5 or 6 different super easy, fun things that you can do using maps. And they can be maps of places that you're interested in, or even maps of places that you're not interested necessarily in. And we'll talk about where to get maps, everything start to finish. So this is just going to be a really fun tutorial, and let's jump right in. As you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to sprinkle. Let me just find myself here real quick. Okay, so this beautiful satellite world atlas was something that I found at my local Goodwill about, 6 or 8 months ago, and it's just been sitting on the coffee table. It's been looked at a few times. My husband loves maps, but it wasn't really doing too much good. I think I paid $2 or $3 for it, so it wasn't a big investment, and it really is a beautiful book. So I want to show you some different things that you can do using maps, and let's start with the smallest and probably easiest thing that you can do, and that is that you can make these little glass gem magnets to use on any kind of metal surface. And the fun thing about that is that you can choose, where. Like if you have a trip coming up to Italy, then maybe to Rome or something, oh, don't we all wish, then you might choose that. Or I just put my hometown, which is Atlanta. So let me show you how you do that and what you're gonna want to use. All right, I'm using this 2-pound bag of glass gems from Dollar Tree. They have a teeny bit of an opalescent look to them, but they work just fine. And they're bigger, and that's important. You don't want the teeny gems. And I'm just wiping it off on my jeans here real quick. Okay, so then you're gonna take a map, and this is so easy. I could probably just tell you, but let's pretend that we're interested in Milan, okay? So I have Milan here centered on my little map, and I'm laying my little gem over the top of my map, and I just traced it. I'll cut it out real quick and I'll show you the next steps. You do want to cut your map a little bit smaller than the area that you trace, so that it's not sticking out the edges of your little gem. And you don't have to do magnets if you don't want. You can hot glue these on things. Okay? So then I'm just using Mod Podge matte. You could use whatever Mod Podge you might have on hand. You can use white school glue. If you Google it, you can find a recipe to make your own Mod Podge. So I am just going to take my little map and my brush and apply some Mod Podge to the whole thing. Oops. Okay, well that's good to know. They're not breakable, or not very breakable anyways. And then I'm gonna put my little glass gem on top of it, and push down to try to push whatever bubbles might be on there out. Okay, and this is what you're gonna get. And then you want to put a coat of the Mod Podge. Thinner coats are always better. It's always better to do thinner and then to do an extra coat if you need to. And you're sometimes going to have a little area that wants to lift up. You can just use your brush to put something under there. I want to show you a trick, which if you're a crafter, you already know this, probably. But when you're working with Mod Podge, it really wants to stick to your hands. And so one great way to have that not happen is to put your hand inside a little plastic bag and to manipulate your project that way. Okay. So once it dries, it'll be clearer. And these little gems, then you're going to take some hot glue and you're going to attach a magnetic button like this to them. I believe these came from Walmart. I can't remember, but I do want to say one thing about these. These are awesome to work with, but they're also super dangerous for pets and for little ones that think this looks like it might be yummy. Super dangerous. So keep them up, and if you have little ones around, don't do this project where they might find some of these magnetic buttons. So I just hot glued my button on the back of this, and it's all done and ready to go. And this would be a super fun project to do with your kids. Also, it would be just a nice little gift for a reason or for absolutely no reason at all, to give a friend, your mom, your sister, you know, whoever, 4 or 5 of these little magnets that you made. Okay, so that was the first project. The second thing I want to show you, well, it also involves Mod Podge, so let's go there. Let's see, I have so much stuff on my desk. Oh my goodness. This is not a good example. Okay, so are you guys familiar with these tiles? I'm trying to remember what they're called. If you know what these are called, they're like tumbled sandstone or marble or something. So if somebody knows what these are called, tell me in the comments so I can tell everyone. Anyways, you can pick them up one at a time or a box at a time at Home Depot, Lowe's, Aces, and they're less than $1 a piece, way less than $1 a piece. And these make great coasters, which make great gifts. Okay, so you're gonna wanna feel your piece and see which side has the roughest top. You wanna use the smoothest, so we'll use this side. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm gonna pretend that we really wanna make some coasters that have Croatia in it, which sounds like a lovely place, so maybe you would. Let's see, where did my pencil go? I have way too many things out right now. So I'm just gonna trace it. And then we'll cut it out. And I'm gonna cut inside the line that I traced so that it'll be slightly smaller than the piece of, it's tumbled something. Tumbled, I can't think of it. We have this, we had a whole box of this in our garage because when we had our kitchen redone like 15 years ago when we first moved here, this is what we had put on our backsplash. So, okay, so I've just cut out my little map and I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but I'm gonna start on my tile And I'm just gonna apply a good coat. Can you guys see? Let's come down a little bit further. Okay, who is the person that keeps giving me frowny faces on the links that I'm trying to share with you guys? I want to make it easy for you if you want to go look, but there is some person every time I do that that gives me like a frowny face. Okay, so I'm gonna put not too thick of a coat on here, and I tell you why. When I did my first one, which I'll show you in just a minute, I overloaded it. And then as it dried, it has a few bubbles. So I'll show you what thickness I recommend. I would not go super crazy putting a ton of Mod Podge on it. Can you see? Okay, and then I'm just gonna take my little piece of map and put it on there, and I'm gonna put my hand inside of my bag again and really push it down. After I'm done here, I'm gonna share also some pictures of even more ideas that we didn't do here, because there are so many things that you can do, seriously. So now I've got it on, and I'm gonna just do what is this? One coat right now of Mod Podge over the top. I will let that thoroughly dry. I've got something in my brush is what the problem is. Like the brush hairs are falling out. That's frustrating. Okay, so this is what that looks like. Basically, we can clean it all up when we're done. I would put my hand back in my bag and press it down again. Oh, my link doesn't work. Darn. Oh, I swear. Technology is so wonderful and so frustrating at the same time. When I get off, if you want a link, I haven't even shown you this stencil idea yet. We'll do that towards the very end. But if you want links, just let me know and I'll get you a good one. Okay, so this is what our little Mod Podged coaster looks like. You're gonna wanna let it dry and then do one more coat, let that dry, and probably do another coat in case somebody uses this with a beverage that is sweating and wet. And here's the one I did before I came live. And this is the one that I maybe used too much Mod Podge. I did my state where I grew up, Idaho. Can you see how it has some sort of wrinkles as it was drying? It doesn't look terrible in person, but I think it's because I used too much, okay? And then you're probably wondering, well, how am I gonna keep this from scratching the heck out of whatever table I might set it on? I have a really good idea that's super budget friendly. You know, at Dollar Tree, you can get these sheets of cork that have adhesive on the back. And I've used some different, well, these kind of look like glasses. I've used some different punches that I had with these, which is hard. It's a little bit too thick for most punches, but you can just use a regular hole punch. And pop out some teeny tiny little feet. And on this one that's finished, I put one in each quarter. You can put one in the center too if you want, just to be safe. So the whole sheet is $1. Where you could also use those little felt feet that you can purchase, but my opinion is those are kind of expensive, and this works really well too. So the other coaster idea is at Hobby Lobby you can buy these round cork coasters, and I did the exact same process. What did I choose here? Oh, Minnesota. I chose that because I was thinking about some old friends that we had that both the husband and the wife passed away from COVID a week or 2 ago, 2 weeks ago. Anyways, so I just applied the Mod Podge, then my map that I traced, and then I did one coat over the top, and I would probably go on to do 2 more. And these are flexible, and there's no need to put anything underneath it. So that's a really good option. And if I remember right, you got a set of 6, I think it was, of these pre-cut out round corks that you could use for multiple things, but you can use them for coasters also. And they were probably $3.99 or something. So about 75 cents a piece, which is a good deal. And if you were making them for somebody or for your own house, you could, and you have several maps, you could do your favorite travel destinations. Wouldn't that be fun? Or say you grew up in Maine and your husband or significant other grew up in Montana, and then you lived in Wisconsin, and now you currently live in New York. I mean, you could do these things with each one of those places, and you can do the exact same thing with these little button magnets. Okay, so that is that idea. Let's put this aside. All right, what do I have here on? Oh, okay, so then the next idea I wanted to share with you. Oh, Carol says my link is not working. Let me see if there's something I can do. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Technology. Okay, I'm going to try to pin a different link really quick. Stay with me because the next ideas are super cute. Okay, I just pinned a new link. Hopefully that'll work. Somebody try it and let me know. Okay, so another fun thing that you can do with maps is you can make all kinds of different banners and garlands and fun things like that. So I have 2 different styles here. This one. Everything's turned winky wonky because it's been piled up here on my little craft desk for a while. But let me show you what this looks like. And I added some tin from those Dollar Tree cookie sheets that I love so much. I want to show you how you do that. Okay, I actually have this hole puncher thing that came from Hobby Lobby. It was around $16. It's a 3-inch heart punch. And this thing works great on all different things. It works great on maps, any kind of paper. And it works great on these Dollar Tree cookie tins that I love so much. So I'm just gonna show you what I did. All I did was pick my little hole punch, punched it out, and then I did I just did my little individual hole punch thing on either side. And there you go. Super easy. I did the same exact thing with, let's see, can I get one in right here? With my punch with the paper. And I did want to mention one thing though, is that you want to make sure that you're putting your paper, your maps in the correct direction so that the heart is the right shape and the writing is right side up. Because if you punch it the wrong way, it's going to be upside down when you look at it. And we always look at hearts like this, right? But to be able to see or read anything, it would be upside down. So that is one thing to be sure that you do. And I'll just show you an example. So, and I'll show you also how you can get these out of your book if that's how they come. So I'm going to cut off this white space right here. And let's get rid of this flopping all over the place. Okay, so I want to put it in right side up so that this is how my hole puncher punches, so that the writing is going from top to bottom and not from bottom to top and backwards or anything. So I just put my little map in, and that's it. Super duper easy. Now, if you don't have a hole punch, you can do this by hand. Just trace one heart that you like, fold it in half, and then you could fold your paper, your maps, in little half pieces, and then you can trace it. And then when you unfold it, it'll be perfectly symmetrical. Does that make sense? Okay, so this was the horizontal one that I was starting to fiddle around with, which it still needs some work, but it was getting late and I felt like I needed to come live soon. Okay, the ones I really, really like are the 3-dimensional banners or garlands that go vertical and not horizontal. And so this is an example. I made it earlier. I'm going to show you how to do it. Super easy. Each one of these takes 4 hearts. So I have a bunch of them here. Let's put the Mod Podge to the side for a second so I can show you. Okay, so you want to fold all of your hearts with the map image in the center. That's the first step. And you need 4 pieces. Okay, I've got 4 pieces right here. They're all folded with the actual map center, the map image in the inside. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take a hot glue gun and with the first one, you're going to put some hot glue on one side of your little heart map, and you're going to attach your first folded piece to it. So can you see what you've got going here? This is where I glued it, and this is how it's getting started. Okay, then fold it shut again and put some more glue. I'm just using hot glue, but you could use tacky glue, you could use a glue stick, you know, whatever you like. So I did another one, and now this is what I'm getting. It's starting to have some dimension. Okay, and then I'm going to do the last one. They don't have to be completely perfectly in place. So here is a stack. This is the center where the fold is, of 4 sets of hearts. And when I pull it open, you can see what you're starting to get. This one just a little bit. Okay, so then you want it to be hanging on whatever kind of string or twine that you're going to be using. And for this one, I am just using a roll of black and white baker's twine. You can get this stuff everywhere. It's super affordable. And so let's add one more right here. I did not measure how far apart these were. I just kind of eyeballed it, but it looks like they're 4.5 to 5.5 inches apart. I don't think that matters at all. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is, this is my thing. It's 4 pieces of the hearts folded in half with the image of the map on the inside, glued together. Now I'm gonna put a band of glue right along the fold part, basically. And I'm going to take my string, my baker's twine, and basically just stick it in that glue. All right. I'm using a Cool Shot low temperature hot glue gun. And you might have noticed I just got a bunch of it on my hands. It didn't hurt at all. This is why I pretty much only use low temperature at this point, because I don't want to get burned every day. And I craft pretty much every day. And almost every craft I do involves a hot glue gun. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to open it up. So let's take one of these sides and put some glue on it. And then we are just going to fold it. We're folding it over. Okay, that doesn't look great, so let's open up the other ones. And there you go. That's how you get the 3-dimensional. Isn't that cool? Okay, so how would you hang these? Well, I would hang them like strings of 4 or 5 across a line on your fireplace. I mean, they could go draped like this, or heck, you could do them just straight across if you want. But I just think they're super cute, and especially if you have maps that are meaningful, places that you've been or want to go, or places that you were raised, or you had some special occasion, you got married there, you went on your honeymoon there, that for Valentine's Day, that would be really fun to do. And like I said before, you don't necessarily have to do hearts, but I think hearts are perfect. I love to travel. And that's why I love all these ideas with the maps. So there you go. So that was one. Okay, so those are the 2 banners, the one that goes horizontal and then this vertical 3-dimensional one. What else have I got here? I know I have a few more things. I also have some pictures to show you. And I have a couple of frames. This is a 5x7, but this part in here is 4x6. And this was just a super cheapy frame, probably from Walmart. I had 2 of them. This one's bigger. And I used them to decorate at my son's wedding, because I did a whole display of their growing up, because they were high school sweethearts. So anyways, I did a whole display and I did all my frames in this real neutral look, okay? So all different sizes too. And then I'm using what I have today. So I had some fabric. You could use scrapbook paper. Shoot, when you take stuff out, there's always that brown cardboard. You could use that too. This is just the perfect colors, I think. Okay, and then, let's see, I have a map here, and I wanted to do a heart for the state of Georgia. So I'm just figuring out exactly where I need to cut it. Because I want my heart to be right side up, right? So let me put this in and see. Here's a little trick. If you turn it around backwards, you'll be able to see where it's gonna punch. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. I want it to go up a little bit further, so I'm gonna cut a little bit more off the bottom. Perfect. Okay, so now the trick is to get it flipped over and hope that it hasn't moved too much and punch it out. And let's see what we've got. Perfect. Atlanta, right here. And there's South Carolina. We love South Carolina too. Okay, so I am gonna make a 3-dimensional piece of art, and it's gonna involve one of these hearts, but you could do multiple if you had a bigger surface. And it's also gonna involve a stencil, which I'm using this one that is from Magnolia, and hopefully I did pin a new link at the bottom, so I'm hoping the new one works. If somebody could try it and let me know. All right, and we're gonna use the word love. So I'm gonna take my stencil out, and when you're stenciling on glass with these green stencils, you really need to fuzz them good, because glass for some reason is one of those surfaces that it can be hard to get your stencils off of. You can fuzz on your jeans, you could fuzz on a t-shirt, don't fuzz on a super furry sweater. Or you can fuzz on one of their little fuzzing cloths that Magnolia has. Okay, I have used the stencil quite a bit. So, turn this way. Okay, so I am going to just sort of visually look to see where I want to lay it. And when you're using stencils like this, you don't have to use the whole entire thing. You can use just part of a stencil, which is kind of a cool thing. And I'm just pressing down the spots that I want to stencil just the word love. And I'm using this gray chalk paste. Magnolia has a lot of different colors, and you guys, they come in and out of stock all the time. Obviously, I don't work for them. I don't have any control over what they have in stock when. You gotta just keep looking back or looking to see what's there, like if there's a specific color that you want. But when gray is available, or maybe it is today, this is a great color. And so I'm just gonna take my little squeegee and get a dip of gray chalk paste. I'm gonna put it on my project, and I'm trying to just do it on the part of the stencil that says love. I'll take the big excess off. This would be easy to fix up though if I would happen to have a boo-boo. Okay, I'm just gonna put my excess back, and it looks like this. These green Green stencils are reusable many, 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 many times. Ooh, that's pretty. I might need a lighter background though. I don't know. Everything is trial and error. At least in my life it is. Okay, so it says love. I definitely need a lighter background. Let's take this out and just look at it with just the cardboard in there for right now. I have tons of other fabrics, so I'm sure I have something else that we could use. Or a piece of that cork might even be nice. And then I'm gonna put this heart that has Atlanta with just some two-sided tape. I'm putting it partially on, whoops, that's too big, partially on the glass and partially on the edge of the frame. Let's find something for the inside because I think it really needs it to show how cute that is. And you know what? Let's just find an ocean. Because the other one that I have to show you in just a second that's going to kind of go with it, it has a lot of ocean on it. So this is a good chance for me to show you how to take pages out of a book. Anyways, let's put this away. I threw my stencil in a little tub of water face down over here, and when I'm all finished, I'll just go to the kitchen sink and rinse it off, and then I'll lay it out on my counters. These are so easy to work with and take care of. They're not hard at all. And I'll just let it dry on its own, you know, a few hours, and then I'll put it back on the backing sheet that I will have already labeled, because I always do that so I know which side of the backing sheet to put it back on. Okay, so I'm just using my X-Acto knife to take a page of this out, and this is the page, this map right here has Brazil. Where is my Sharpie lid? Okay, and this was the picture that I had of my son and his fiance in that frame at the wedding. And I'm gonna use it just to trace, because what I want is to have a blue background in here. Okay, now where are the scissors? So what do you guys think about these projects? We did, oh, I have one more that involves a candle that's really cool. So don't leave me yet. We did coasters. We did these little pebble button magnets. We did 2 different styles of banner. We're doing just a little art project that has a couple of inexpensive frames. And then I'm going to show you a candle idea. And then later today, I'm going to send, here on DiyDreaming, I'll share pictures of a bunch more ideas of things that you can do with maps. And I don't know if you're like me, I just never think to do it. But it's so easy, and if you can find some maps that are inexpensive at a thrift store, or maybe you have them. You know, we don't really even use maps anymore because most people, if you're like us, we use our devices to tell us where we're going. We don't look things up on actual physical maps anymore. So maybe you have some maps. Oh, shoot. That was close. Let's take this off for a second. So maybe you have some maps sitting around in a box somewhere that you could use. And if they have meaningful places in it, it's all the better. Okay, so this is much nicer. It says love, and we're gonna put this little heart that has Georgia. You could use hot glue to put that on there too if you want. So it's one of those frames that will prop up, and let me show you the companion that's gonna go with it. Is this one. I just put, this is Italy, a big piece of Italy. This is somewhere that I'm really wanting to go. And I've been there before, but it's been forever. But we're not really traveling to Italy these days, are we? So inside the glass, I just put that piece of the map. I just used the glass itself to trace, to find out where I wanted everything. And then I used this stencil right here that says blessed. I didn't use the hashtag, but I used everything else in that stencil. And obviously I like the stencil. I've used it a lot. It's starting to look kind of cruddy, not as cruddy as my Amanda Lace one. But anyways, I used the same gray chalk paste, and because they're the same color frame, even though they're different sizes, these would look, I think they would look good together. And you have a little vignette for almost nothing, especially if you're using stuff that you already have. So what do you guys think? Pretty cute, huh? I can't wait to see what you guys do with that idea. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is an idea that you can do with any kind of candle. I almost only use the battery operated ones in my house at this point. And I have a bunch of them that have a remote that you can turn on with a little remote, which is nice when they're way up on the mantle. And this is a 3x6 pillar. So I cut a long strip of a map right here, 5.5 inches from top to bottom, so it'll cover like this. And I'm just going to cut the end of it off. This is Europe, which is someplace, you know, Italy included, that I'm just really dying to go. So I'm just going to, you could Mod Podge this to your candle, but shoot, why would you do that when you don't need to? You can figure out exactly how big you're gonna need it to be and add maybe an inch or so. And then using that same two-sided tape, whoops. Just put it on my book of maps. I'm going to go heavy with it because I want, this paper's a little stiff, this matte paper. Okay. I love doing fun and easy things to maps, candles that you can change up. And look, voila. Then you could take a little bit of twine, like this. My phone's telling me I have a low battery. And where's the end of it? Here it is. Pull some out. Shoot, we could do the idea with the little tin, but I'm not going to because I don't want to cover up the map completely. in here, so it looks kind of nice. And there we go. Europe on a candle. What do you guys think? Isn't that so easy? Then when I'm all done with it, I just take it off. And this is one of those good in-between season fillers. These maps are also, I think they're really good to use during the summer when people are really thinking about traveling. Put this back on. Oh, it's on. I don't know how much it would glow through the paper. I'm assuming it would glow some when it's dark. But that is the idea. So what I recommend that you do is that you go look where you might have some old maps in the garage, in the attic, in the basement. Maybe you have a place in your home a drawer that you store those in. Check with your significant other before you cut anything up. And you can be making, in no time at all, some of these little button glass magnets. You can be making a whole variety of coasters. And you can just use your little hole punch and some of this sticky cork that you can get at the Dollar Tree to make the little feet for the bottom of your coasters, and you're going to use Mod Podge for that. You can also make a variety of different bannery kind of things. Or you could do the vertical, the 3-dimensional vertical, which is my favorite. And that's just 4 pieces. If you missed this part of the video, go back and watch. It's super easy to do. And you can use the same concept for any size shape of anything that you might want to hang. It could be big round, big stars. You could use more than 4 pieces if you want. Oh, and then we made the frames. And then last up, we did the candle. All with a few pages from this book, this World Atlas that I found at my local Goodwill for $2 or $3. So I hope you like these ideas. Let me just say one thing. If you decide to give some of these ideas a try, I would love to see pictures of what you make. And I have a craft group that I've set up. It's called Dreamy DIY. If you're not already a member of that, you should hop over and ask to join. It's going to ask you 2 questions. Do you agree not to do any self-promotion? In other words, not to try to sell what you make or what you sell there. And do you agree not to share other crafters' videos there? And if you say yes to that, they'll let you in. There's a ton of ideas over there. It's a great place to get ideas. And I want to see if you do some of these map projects, especially over there. So share your pictures over there if you decide to do that. If you want to have pancakes, maybe you don't know what that means. If you want to see my videos, all the upcoming projects that I have, great things coming up. One thing about Facebook's algorithm is that they don't want to show you something that they don't think you want to see. And how they judge whether you want to see something is by your engagement. So if you do this, or give me some hearts, or say something, engage with me in the comments, if you've made sure that you like and followed DIY Dreaming, then you're you can also turn your notifications on, but you're a lot more likely to get served the stuff that I have coming up. So I really hope that you will. And if you have questions, put that in the comments. If you wanted a specific link, let me know that too. Hey, Saritha, look at all those hearts. Thank you. Oh, and thank you guys for sprinkling. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So watch for a post from me later with a bunch more ideas of things that you can do with mats. And if you decide to do some projects with mats, I want to see those over at Dreamy DIY. All right, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. See you later.